Okay, so for those that didn't get to introduce me, I think I got to meet everybody. I'm Jacoby Madewell, and what I do is we started this 12 years ago just selling real estate. I started just as a real estate agent, something I wanted to do since I was 16 years old, and I finally went and did it at age 24, and just sold for 2 years, sold my little heart out. I just networked, did everything, very naively because I was 24, broke, and the guy that was teaching me said, do this, so I went and I did this. And I think that ignorance was complete bliss in the time because I didn't really have an ego to know any better. I was young and dumb, and I think it really worked in my favor. So that's why I love that you're having success, because I feel like you're right where I was. So about 2 years into selling real estate, sold about 40 houses 2 years in a row. I was recruited to move to Denton, Texas, to be what's called a productivity coach for the Keller Williams franchise I was with. That's like a business coach. You're basically taking brand new agents and saying, help them get into production. You make a little slim portion off of every sale that they make. So hypothetically, in a grand scheme, you can build this big program and you can have a bunch of people underneath you. You're getting a little piece of it as long as you get into production. What I found is that was too slow for me because I like to rely on my own efforts, my own abilities. And what I was doing is I was standing in rooms like this and I was meeting with people one-on-one, and it was like, okay, if you do this, go do this, cool, you got a plan, go do it, cool. Come back to me and they go, I didn't do it. Why didn't you do it? Well, I didn't feel good. I take my kids to the store, whatever. And so I realized that the money was not what I thought it was gonna be, at least not for a long time. I was gonna have to build it over time. So I moved back to Lubbock 9 months later, got back into sales. By now it's 2016, July of 2016, and I moved back, got an apartment. I was so broke, I'd used all my savings. Dakota Arms Apartments. My brother actually was doing a remodel job on it, and he just went and talked to the manager and said, we need an apartment, cool. I don't even think I did anything, so I just got the keys. And moved in, kind of depressed that I didn't make it, and came back and just got started. And when I got started, I was focusing on just what can I control. Hey guys, come on in. Got some breakfast pizza, got some coffees, y'all go ahead. And so I came back to start selling. A month later, I went to one of my best friend's wedding. I was the best man in the wedding, and I met my wife, who was the wedding photographer at that wedding. 2 weeks later, we ran into each other again. I said, hey, I know you. She said, yeah, you were that drunk groomsman. I said, excuse me. Excuse me. I have selfies on my phone that you wanted to take with me. You hit on me. I don't know what story you remember, but it was not the correct one. And so asked her to brunch. Literally have seen that lady every day since, pretty much. And so got married to my wife in 2018. A week before we got married, November of 2018, we bought 13 acres just north of New Home, south of Lubbock, because her dream was to build a wedding venue. When we first met, I said, what is your dream? She said, my dream is to travel. And I said, and what's your second dream? Because traveling just gives me anxiety from having to not be at work. And she said, to own a wedding venue. And I said, okay, cool, I got you. And so from 2018 to 2023, I worked my tail off. Really in 2020, we got started going to get a bank loan. Everything was going great. We're getting it all. The bank says, all right, go prove this concept so we can take it back to the board. So we went and sold $100,000 in weddings in 1 month off of renderings. And then this worldwide pandemic happened, and they go, you're never going to be able to have 400 people in a room ever again. And so we had to call every bride and say, and this was the beginning of COVID. We had to call every bride saying, hey, we have to cancel your wedding. We're so sorry. We're not going to have it done in time, yada, yada, yada. It turned out in our favor that it was a worldwide pandemic, not this little cold that everybody's talking about when we canceled the weddings. But I remember having to be on every call because my wife couldn't get a word out because she was crying so by letting these ladies down. And so it delayed us from 2020. So 2020, nothing happened. We just kept working. 2021, we'd already gotten all the plans. We paid all that in cash. 2021, we kind of get started again, working on some stuff. In 2022, at the end of 2022, we finally got the bank loan. And then 2023, we built it, and then we opened it on April 13th of this year. So along the lines, while we're doing that, I've taken a role into the construction company that my brother owns. So I'm the COO of Madewell Construction. And then in 2021 as well, we decided we didn't want to just be transaction-based, where we're always relying on the next transaction. There's a whole deeper level to that, but we wanted to be our own client. We wanted to have our own revenue and our own source that was not related to being hired. So we became franchisees for Take 5 Oil Change in the state of Wyoming and the western half of Colorado. So right now I have one Take 5 in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I've got a second one in Cheyenne, Wyoming under construction, and then I'm under contract on land in Grand Junction, Colorado, Casper, Wyoming, and Laramie, Wyoming. And so by the end of 2025, I'll have 5 open at a minimum. I'm gonna try to push for 7, but I might be a little crazy there. We haven't announced it on social media, so please don't put it on social media, but we did find out a couple months ago that we were pregnant as well. So I'm gonna have my first kid in May, right? It was a complete surprise. We were not trying. This was just God did, right? And a whole lot of my story is just that. And so, yeah. So I just tell you a little bit about me because I think it's important to know that the guy talking has done some stuff and been in your shoes and not just a guy that read some books, because I'm also that guy. Okay, cool? All right, landed. Okay, so first thing I want to tell you is that you've been fighting for your own greatness for a very long time. Yes or no? Yeah. So I'd like to say congratulations for being here today, because I feel like this is January 4th, 2025, and you're taking a stand for your life. And for many of you, you've been trying to take a stand for a very long time, and it just you haven't broken through yet. So I'm speaking and I'm declaring that 2025 will be a year of breakthrough, comeback, overcoming, whatever you want to say, but this will be the year that you get to accomplish what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So congratulations on literally just saying, I am ready and I'm worth it, I'm worthy, and let's go. Okay, so recently had to go to the eye doctor. I've had my eyes lasered 7 years ago, and I had to get glasses because I can't see up close, so to read now. Okay, so anyway, y'all might have heard this analogy before. Toilet paper. When we have a whole lot of it, we tend to use a lot of it. When there's only about this much left on the roll, we make it worth it, right? So I've got a little analogy. So today is January 4th, so let me count off 4 pieces of toilet paper. So I want you to look at this as if it's the year. So 4 sheets are already gone, and there are 52 weeks, which means there's 52 weekends. And ideally, we'd probably like to not work on weekends if we have living a perfect life, right? So we're going to count out 104. So tell me when you think I'm hit 104. Sure. You think sure? I don't think we're there.
Keep going.
Right there? All right. Cool. This is for your tears. Okay. So, and then we've probably got some, I don't know, some vacations. Anybody want to go on vacation this year? All right. How many vacations do we take? 3? How many days are your vacations at a time? 10 days at a time? Wow. Let's break that in half. Let's break that in half and just go 15 days. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 days for vacations. Okay, what about, there might be some days we get sick, right? Let's just say 7 days out of the year. I think that's a lot, actually, for me. But if you get hit with one thing, you're down for a whole week. Yeah, don't speak that on me. Okay? Okay, what else is there in the year? We've got our weekends. We've got our sick days, we've got our vacations. Holidays. All right, so we just went through this. By the way, Wednesday is the worst day of the year to have Christmas and New Year's. We had 2 days off by, at a minimum in a full week there. Okay, so we had 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. 4 days, you think that's too many? That good. 4 days for there, 2 days. So we got 6 days for Christmas and New Year's. I've got Thanksgiving, I've got Easter, which is always on Sunday, but we have Good Friday, so I've got 7. If we're going July 4th, if we're going off banks, we got Memorial Day. So we're going to call it 10 days for holidays?
We're still working those holidays.
All right, so let's call it 7. All right, we're just going right here. Okay, what else do we have for the year?
School events.
School. You got to go to your kids' stuff, right? All right, so how many days are we giving to kids' stuff?
30 of them. There's a lot of it.
Every holiday.
I'm going to just call it right there.
Also on my 3 vacations.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, so we still have quite a bit left, but not near as much as we started with. So at the beginning of every year, we automatically throw away a whole lot. Just noticing. So we're going to talk about time for just a second. Okay? So I go on 2 vacations at a minimum every year. We go one for my wife's birthday and our anniversary. It's the 11th and 17th of November. We skip Thanksgiving. We go on our own vacation. And then we go on one for my birthday, which is in September. It's on Labor Day, so we usually take the Labor Day weekend. Okay? So at a very bare minimum, we go on 2. I always choose Napa, California, Napa Valley. I'm a big wino. It is awesome. We've gone 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've been 8 times to Napa. And it's awesome. We've got friends out there. We've got winery owners that are friends of ours now, which is a blessing and a curse because they'll text you when a new allotment comes out. And I will go through this and I will say, all right, we arrive. So we fly in either San Francisco or Oakland. You have to get a rental car. You have to drive an hour and a half up. And you have to get to we do hotels, not Airbnbs now because they've swapped in pricing. Get to the hotel. And then what do we got to do? We got to eat. So I am planning out all this. So when I get to planning my Napa, it is a Google Doc agenda itinerary. Any of you guys itinerary of travelers? Yes. Well, if you go to Napa, post-COVID, everything is by reservation only. So you can't just pop in places like you used to. Because we used to just be driving down the windy, beautiful hills with the vines on each side and go, let's go in this one. Let's go in this one. Well, now since COVID, it's like, no. You have to make an appointment. So we don't get to do anything without an agenda in Napa. So at 9:30 to 10:30 or 11, you're there, you're here, and this is how many people, and then you have to prepay for all your reservations for every single thing you do. It's a whole thing. I will spend weeks, maybe even a full month planning this vacation. Anybody else spend more time planning their vacations than they do planning their lives? I'm so bad about this. Why do we do that? Why do we spend more time planning our vacations than our lives and our years?
It's blocked off time. It's special. And it's not just special to you, it's special to people you care about.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say that you could have a special time if you planned and blocked off and figured out your life versus just your vacations? So the goal that we all want is to not have to spend a life that we have to take vacations from. I think you're kind of living that right now. Pretty impressive, by the way. And so I want you to think about this. So I'm going to go over here. I wrote this so you guys can read this the whole time, but we're going to work through something real quick with me. So does anybody know how many hours there are in a week? It's 168. Okay, we have 168 hours in a week. Can you see this? You good? Okay. All right. So how many hours a week are we working? 40? Just 40? All right, we'll go 40.
Corporate America, that's corporate for me.
I can tell you that I work more than 40, but for the fact of the exercise, we're doing that. So now I've got 128. Okay. How many hours a week do we do anything else? All right. So anybody here go to the gym? All right. That's half the room. How long do you spend at the gym?
2 hours.
2 hours? Hour and a half? Hour? All right. Let's call it an hour. So that's, you go in 7 days? 5 days? 5 days. All right. I was about to give you more credit there. Okay? Okay, what else are we doing? So I want you to think through your day and think what your day looks like. Sleep. Are we getting 7 hours? Are we getting 8 hours? Some of y'all getting 9 hours. 4 hours. 6. 7, 8. Let's just call it 7. So give me 7. Oh, I didn't do that right. That should be 25. Give me, because it's 5 times 5, 25, yeah. not 5 hours. So give me 7 times 7.
49.
Okay, how many of you guys are cooking a meal at home? How many days a week? Every day, wow. 4 days? 4 days? Yeah, I'm below this, so that's why I have to ask y'all, because I'm an eating out guy. Okay, so 4 hours or 4 days, so is it 1 hour per meal?
And clean though, I don't even know.
So how much is it?
Probably by the time dishes, I saw about 6 hours.
Okay, so we're gonna say, you're talking a week?
A week.
A week, okay, yeah, not a day, yeah. So by the time you prep the meal, cook the meal, clean the meal 4 times a week, you got 6 hours of cooking. A week, yep. Okay. What about morning routine? So we already talked to Jim. How much time does it take you to get ready? Hour. Let's just say an hour. Okay, so I've got a minimum of 7 hours of getting ready. Okay, think through your day. How much time do you spend in your car? Call it an hour a day? What's an average? Somebody that doesn't drive a ton, you know, like what do you say, like 3 hours? All right, let's call it 14 hours in the car. Okay. Okay, what area have we not hit yet?
Socializing.
All right, church, socializing. Let's talk church. How much time do we spend at church a week? 4 hours? I'd say I'm an hour and a half guy. It's 11, and we get out at 12:15, and then I chat.
It's not a category for some people.
Yeah, okay. Let's go 7 for spiritual. How about that? Okay. And what did you say in here, family?
Family.
All right, so you guys do want to spend time with your kids. So how much hours are we spending with our kids?
It's hard to they're at school all day, so then you really only get, 2 hours a night, depending?
I think if you spend 2 hours a day with your child, you are winning.
Yeah.
Now, of those 2 hours, how many of those is focused effort with your child versus eat, clean up, shower, this, bed, homework? Did you do that? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, screaming, back off.
Screaming. Negative. So let's call it 14 hours with our kids. So pretty cool. Your kids nearly made it to 10% of your week. What about, you guys go on dates? Date night? Anybody single? Date nights? Anybody do date night with their spouse? All right. Do it every week? I do mine every week.
We do that within our cooking.
Oh, you do? Okay, that's smart. See, y'all must be good at cooking. Because I'm not. I'm really bad. No,
I
we
would
are.
say, is it more of like social, like when we're on the gram, when you're on Facebook? So what,
Yeah, we haven't
an
even-
hour a
we
day
haven't-
of that, probably?
So that doesn't count. That's another category. So I'm going to say I'm going to spend 3 hours with my wife a week. You think that's too much? Wow. All right, where are we at? Who's got the calculator out? I got 40, 25, I'm at 65. I got 105, 104, 110, 117, 120, 31, 138, 100, gosh, now I'm getting 141, 165. Awesome, cool. So we've got 3 hours left of what I would call waste.
Clean up.
Okay, so where have we gotten better? Maybe a little here. Where have we worked on a side hustle, improving our businesses, just all here? I really think this one right here, those are development hours. But I have to ask you that question. You're spending 2 hours on a Saturday here, so that's like, hey, props to you guys. But this is what we have to do. We have to take an audit of our lives. So as you're going into 2025, the first thing we have to do So we have to look back at 2024. Agree or disagree? Okay. Why? That's right.
You have to know your numbers.
That's right. That's right. Your life is just like numbers, and numbers will tell a story. They say where you've been, where you're going. You ever heard, show me your money, I'll show you your treasures? Show me your money, I'll show you your time. Any of that? You're saying these for the first time? Cool. Okay, let me say them again. Show me your money, show me your friends. Yeah, right? So, knowing where you've been will say where you're going. So if you were going to say, so anybody read any books? Because we didn't talk about any reading in here. All right. So my readers that raised their hands real fast here, how many books did you read in 24? Physical or listen? Wow. See, I'm a listener. So when did you do that?
Well, it probably would have been, I don't do my cooking.
You don't do the cooking? Okay. So it's like after work, before dinner?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you read your books? And how many did you read?
I read like 9.
9, okay.
9.
Nearly one a month.
I was inconsistent. I actually just now started time blocking my reading, so.
Yeah.
But just a lot of John Maxwell. You talked about John Maxwell, Brendan Burchard.
Yeah, dude. That's my dude.
I've actually leaned more into the scripture more this year.
Yeah.
A lot of self-growth that I want to also incorporate that.
Yeah, man. Brendan Burchard, I do every day. Every day, yeah. Okay, how many did you read?
Who was that?
Brendan Burchard. How many did you say?
4.
4, all right. Heck yeah, dude. How many did you read, Lindsay?
Oh, okay. So I just switched jobs. I read like 120.
Okay.
I love to read.
When you
that
said
stuff.
switch jobs, does that mean started a job, like never worked before, or?
No. I worked for a different company, but I was bored all day.
Oh,
I
wow.
had to be working at my desk with nothing to do, so I was supposed to go.
Wow, that is a lot of books.
So that's not.
Okay, anybody else read a bunch of books? Okay, anybody else do podcasts? Okay, there's a little more podcast. When did you do your podcasting? In the gym?
The car.
Driving car, yeah, that's me too. Getting ready, that's me too. Okay. I think it's important to say, what am I doing all day? Because we said 40-hour work week, and I spend more than 40 hours at work. Did I work 40 hours? You got a lot of employees. They work in 40 straight hours. Are we working 30 hours? Are we working 25 hours? That's 5 hours a day of solid work. Right? So who feels good about where 2024 went? Who feels really good about how it went? Got somebody shaking their head, no way. Yeah, medium, okay. Yeah, all right.
Could have been worse.
Could have been worse. It's not really how I want to judge my life, but you're right.
This is my best year so far.
Yeah,
As an agent, I'm just looking to double it this year.
that's great, man.
I'm gonna try and take away as many good habits from this, because I see where I'm lacking.
Yeah.
It's easy to see where I lack. It's hard to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Putting it on paper and seeing it creates accountability,
Yeah.
you know?
So the first thing I'd say if we're going to take an audit of 2024 is I'm an electronic calendar guy. It's all in my Google Calendar, right? Which makes life so easy. Go back, look at January, look at February, look at March, look at April, look at May, and say, what did January look like in 2024? Did you maybe not start working until January 11th? Did you take some time? Oh, shoot, February is when my kid always gets that deal. I had to take off all his PTO, whatever it may be, right? But look back at it because what do we want in our lives?
Fullness.
Yes, consistency. We want to live just a congruent, full, consistent life. So if you look at your Monday, and then you look at the next week's Monday, and you look at the next week's Monday, and every Monday is different, you're probably feeling some little stress, little anxiety because you have no control, right? Okay, so there's a couple ways I want to go, but I'll get back into that. Okay, so anybody know what the word decide means or where the root of it comes from?
To draw a line.
So decide is broken up into 2 words, D and side. D means to, side means to cut. So think of words that have side in them. Homicide, suicide, scissors is from that root. To cut, to kill, to eliminate. So to decide means that I am choosing to go a path that I have cut off the opposite direction and decision. So resolutions are what everybody does in 2025 or New Year. Anybody who's here doing resolutions? Anybody a big resolution guy? I like resolutions. You know what I love? I love New Year's. I love 2020, January 2025. I love it because I feel like for the first time all year, everybody's on my page with positivity and optimism. Because I'm like up here all the time. I don't think we have to wait until the new year to get started on a new goal, new me, new whatever.
Because you're authentic.
Yeah, thanks.
That's you.
Thanks, bro. Yeah. So a resolution, though, the word is from the word resolute. Okay? So resolute means to make an actual decision that you will not go back from. So when you're going to decide, resolute, whatever, we are making this decision and we are giving our word that it is what we want to do and what we're going to do. Okay? Okay, so I want you to think back over your life. You guys mind if we talk age for a minute? No, you don't mind? Okay, we got 23, 56, 34, 39, 27, 35, 47, 22. Yeah, he was just. Okay, so I want you to think back through your life. The way I would look at it is I would start at the beginning. We usually look at the most recent. Okay, does anybody remember the ages 1 through 5? Anybody remember their first memory? I literally cannot. I don't know what it would be. Some people can say, I remember this happening. So 1 through 5, they're pretty much done. 5 through 10, do you remember 5 through 10? Yes. Probably remember a teacher's name, a teacher's classroom, something along the lines there.
Super Bowls.
Oh, Super Bowls.
Watching with my family. Yeah.
Now that you say that, I can remember a seven-year-old Super Bowl party when my buddy Jonathan's house. Yeah. I remember 5-year-old Mrs. Huntington's class, we cooked cookies outside.
Some core memories.
That's it. That's all I remember from that age. 8 years old, I took a fall. 9 years old, started getting migraines. And I just remember the trauma of that. And I remember missing like all of 3rd grade. Junior high, still suffered with the migraines, but I remember playing sports. Baseball, basketball was my thing. Since I had the migraines, I never played football. Wasn't allowed. High school, I definitely remember high school. Because I was in the memory-making business, because I was not in the education business in high school, right? Okay? Think back through your life. Spend a minute. Okay, now let's think 20s. Okay, now let's think 25. Let's think 30. Now let's think 2024. Okay, let me ask you a question. When you start to think back along your life, what is the emotion that comes up? Gratefulness. That's good. That's good.
I think like growth. I have like an angry period, and then it's like, but I love who I am now. Growth.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. Any other emotions when you think about your life?
More regrets.
More regrets. Yeah. Now, what do you regret?
Probably not taking more opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. Any other emotions? Adam, you've lived a full life. You're 39, right? 43. So, yeah. You lived a full life. So 17 or 18 years, military, 3 tours in Iraq. I'm actually good. I don't want to apologize because I know you think about those things all day, but I'm like, man, sorry for making me tell you to remember all of the things that you just probably flashed through your mind for 10 minutes there. And tell me the emotion you get when you think back through your life.
My life, a lot for me is this, what if, you know? Like you know, discussing yesterday, I don't want to die thinking, what if?
Yeah.
Should I have?
Mm-hmm.
What if is mine?
Yeah.
What if I never made the jump to start my business, my company, so forth, so on, what would I be?
Yeah.
What if I would have,
Yeah. My favorite story is about Colonel Sanders. Now, if once you get really studying Colonel Sanders, he wasn't a very liked guy. But the reason I like Colonel Sanders, does anybody know how old he was when he started KFC?
62.
yeah, something like that.
I think I thought it was 65. I've been telling the story wrong. But he's 60s.
Yeah.
And I think so many of us think 60s is the end. Do we agree or disagree there's more technology today than there's ever been in all the history of the universe? And by the way, AI that's coming will never replace what skill? leadership. Human connection and human feelings and leadership because we long for it. 62. So we don't have anybody 62 in here. Okay, so I want you to think back real quick. We talked all the way to how we are. We talked about our weeks. Talked about all this. Does anybody know the average age of retirement right now?
65.
What'd you say? 67 is the average age right now. Does anybody know the average male death age in the United States right now?
Earlier than that.
72.
78. Okay, so we can all admit that we've probably had some weeks where we've worked 60 hours, 65 hours, and we did those for sprints. Like we worked 60 hours for months, and then finally we were like, phew. We can all admit that some days we don't do 25 hours in the gym, or some weeks we don't do 25 hours in the gym. I have not done a gym in 2024. I actually got some sick time. I've been resting. I've been consistent. That's the only thing it is. I can tell you, some of us are not getting 7 hours of sleep.
I wish I was.
But we are busting our tails. And I don't want to say all of this, but I would say we're busting our tails every single week, all the time, to barely freaking get by. Do you feel that at all? That's a lot of the United States right now. We're up to $23 trillion in credit card debt right now because people aren't taking control of their finances. They're not taking control of their lives. They're not taking control of responsibilities. By the way, if you get a credit card, you have to pay it. It's not just money on there. It's not a prepaid gift. These aren't Visa gift cards, okay? Okay? And at the same time, we do 168 hours a week of hard work for 67 years, and then we get to spend 11 of it on our terms, and then we die. Man, that sounds awful. And that is what I refuse to do, is I refuse to live till I'm 67 on somebody else's terms, living somebody else's life, building somebody else's dream, and not my own. So that I can get to this spot where I'm 67, Colonel Sanders 62, 67, and then it's time for me to just chill. Can I have any Bible scholars in here? I'm a Christian man, so if I'm going to talk about God and talk about faith, it's just going to be part of this. So if you're not, just ignore that part. Anybody in here, though, Bible scholars? Anybody? Okay, all right. Tell me, have you ever seen in the Bible the word retire? It does. Oh, it's on the back wall out there too. So the word retire is not in the Bible. God did not call us to stop working. And you mentioned the word avodah. The word avodah is what was translated in the Old Greek Testament, Hebrews, where the word means to work, to worship, to serve. Same word every single time they used it. When they said, we're going to work for God, avodah. We're going to worship God, avodah. We're going to serve God, avodah. Because we need to be working, we need to be worshiping in our work. We need to be serving in our work. And we need to be working for Him, for His kingdom, right? Okay, so that was a little heavy, but I wanted you to get a picture of that because what we're going to do next is going to be a lot of writing. Okay, so start with a clean sheet. We're going to do an exercise. I feel like everybody in this room is playing all in. But if you're not playing all in, I want you to just give me some weirdness for a minute, okay? I think you'll do this better if you write it, yeah. Okay, so you might need some more paper. I put a lot of paper out here. We use these at every meeting, so don't think I wasted these. You got some? Okay. Okay, so stick with me here. So we're going to do an exercise. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to picture yourself in 2024. And I want you to think of everything that went right. Think of every single thing you did that you were like, heck yeah, dude. Man, that was awesome. Think of your kids' school, kids' sporting, kids' praises. Think of your spouse, how you said, great job, I love you, this was awesome. Think about how many times you high-fived yourself and you said, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I'm here. Okay? Open your eyes. Spend just 1 minute writing to yourself saying, good job in 2024. It's going to set up our next activity. So so proud of you for doing. I can't believe the breakthrough that we achieved. I'm stronger because we did not give up. Our lives are better because I had grit. Because I did, now we get to. Anybody struggling? Does anybody struggle with speaking positively to themselves? Okay, remind me to come back to that. But self-talk is the most important thing we can accomplish. If you can master the way you talk to yourself, you can master how you talk to anybody else. Because what we do is we put up with the way we talk to ourselves way more than the way we let anybody else talk to us. You're such an idiot. Why did you do that?
We're our worst critic.
Right, that's right. And we say all these negative things to ourselves that we would never let somebody else say to us.
Destroys your motivation.
That's right. Okay, so who wants to share one thing that they're proud of from 2024? Yes, sir.
I eliminated all my debt in 24.
Oh, way to go. That's huge.
Great job, man.
That was my goal coming into 24.
That's great.
I
Congratulations.
did it under this roof.
Congratulations, bro. Anything you're proud of in 2024?
Yes, that I took control of my finances and bought a home.
Yes, there it is. There it is. This is an overcomer if I've ever met one, by the way, guys. And sometimes I want you to notice when I talk to you, these are things I believe and see in you that you may not see in yourself, but you need to take power in words that other people give you. So when I say you're an overcomer, it's because I've seen it and I believe it, and you need to see it too. Okay, tell me something else in 2024 you're proud of.
I got married.
Hey, congratulations, man. I remember seeing that on Facebook, but I can't tell the years anymore. Yeah. Okay, somebody else, give me something you're proud of.
You got promoted.
Heck yeah, congratulations. Okay, anybody else want to share anything else?
I left a job that wasn't fulfilling, and I can already see a change. Like, I'm just happy, better. So.
Yes, congratulations. There you go. Okay, anybody else want to share anything else? I don't want to I'm not going to make everybody speak, but just want, okay. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to move forward and think about the future. So I want you to think about, we're going to do more writing here. So some of you, if you're like me, it's always a clean page. So some of y'all need clean pages going. Okay, so I want you guys, close your eyes one more time. And this time I want you to imagine that you're laying in bed, you wake up, and the first thing you do is you grab your phone, because that's what we do, right? And you go to your bank account because things haven't been going as good as they once were, so you're checking it a lot. And you look at your bank account, and I have put $1,000 into your bank account. But there's some stipulations on it. With that $1,000, the rule is that you have to spend it. You can't save it, can't pay off debt, can't give it away, can't put it in a 401k, you can't put it in a 529, you can't do anything with charity. It has to be spent on you or something. Open your eyes, write $1,000 and write what you're going to spend it on. You have to spend every dime. Okay, who struggled with the $1,000? Okay, were you able to spend it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Another one is
Okay, you struggled. You struggled. Anybody else struggle with spending $1,000? Awesome. Well, good news. You go to bed, you wake up, check your bank account because you're like, yesterday was a great day. $2,000 has been deposited in your bank account by me. Same stipulation, same rules. You have to spend $2,000 today. Can't save it, can't give it away, can't put it in charity, can't do anything 401k. So how do you spend your $2,000? Write it down. Same thing. Yeah, sure. I would do something different. I love how fast some of you are. Bashar, $2,000 into your account. Got to spend it. Can't save it.
4 new passports, 4 new tires, 4 new backpacks.
Write it down. Write it down.
Already did.
For $2,000.
Oh, for 2.
$2,000. 4 new tires. I think you can get that for $100,000. Yeah. Okay. Anybody struggle with $2,000? Anybody feel like 2,000 was easier than 1,000? Yeah. Awesome. All right. So you go to sleep because it was a great day. You're sleeping like a baby. You wake up and you're like, man, things are just going my way. So you check your bank account. And what do you think's there? $4,000. You got to spend it.
hold on now.
You got to spend it. Can't save it. Can't give it away.
Do you need our bank account number?
No, no, sir. No, sir. $4,000. Okay, anybody still working? Thomas still working. Chris is still working. Love it. Okay, who struggled with $4,000? You did? Okay. Okay. Anybody want to share what they spent on $4,000 on? A zero turn? What's that? Oh, mower. Okay.
I go on vacation.
Okay. Where'd you go?
I don't know, actually.
Okay. Well, let's think about it.
Bora Bora has my number one.
Bora Bora, wow.
So long, you gotta so many flights, yeah.
I couldn't go there with the wife for $4,000.
Yeah.
But, I'd probably go out to Sarasota, Florida.
All right. Write Sarasota, Florida down for $4,000, brother. Now, when you're on that Sarasota, Florida vacation for $4,000, 1,000 of it on flights? 1,200 on flights?
I'd probably use points.
All right, so you got points. So 4,000 is not used on flights. So 1,000 in rooms, 1,200 in rooms.
Grandparents live there.
Okay, so we spend no money on flights, no money on rooms.
You see why I take vacations?
So what are you going to spend $4,000 on in Sarasota, Florida?
We would probably just go, and I'd probably take my wife and me shopping, and we'd probably go to some other golf courses there.
Okay, so you're gonna golf. And what are you gonna buy her when you shop?
I'm gonna probably buy her whatever she wants.
Okay, well tell me, what do you know that your wife wants that you're not giving her today? And it's not necessarily about giving her a materialistic thing. It's about you knowing and connecting with what she wants and then saying, what does that do for our relationship? Okay, so now that you've plugged into that, you went to sleep. You went to sleep. Am I still good, Dave? Am I good? Okay. Went to sleep, all right? Slept peacefully. 4,000 was a great day. What do you think happens the next morning when you check your bank account? $8,000. Some of us are catching on. We're going to do this for a minute, so stay with me and start getting creative. Got to spend it. Can't save it. Can't give it away. $8,000. $8,000. Let me ask you this question. You don't have to raise your hand, but how many times has somebody handed you $8,000 before in your life? Now, maybe it was a commission or something, but how many times has that actually happened? This is getting up there to a chunk of money. Somebody asked you for $8,000 today, would you be able to loan it to them? Would you loan it to them? Might be able to, but would you? Okay, let's write that down. What are we spending our money on? I think it gets easier the bigger. This is just me.
Okay, so what would you do with 8,000?
Ooh, I'll tell you later.
Mine's been going to home renovations
Yeah.
to the point of like huge gardening, food producing.
That's awesome. Is that something you're passionate about? Yeah. Yeah. So remember the conversation and comment I made about show me your money, I'll show you where your heart is? This is where some of this kind of ties in. But what we're really doing with this exercise is we're stretching our mind and stretching our capacity. Because there's never a day where you wake up and somebody gives you $1, $2, $4, $8,000. Because it really has to get to a point where you know when you achieve these things, what your life will look like, what you're going to do. So write it down, $8,000. Everybody got it? Okay. Good night and good morning. You wake up, $16,000 is in your bank account. If you'll hang with me on this whole exercise, it'll change you, I promise. What are you going to spend that $16,000 on? We'll get to a point where you can give it away so it can stop stressing you out. It's been like, what is that, $33,000 now? 16 plus 8, 32,000. How many of you guys grew up without anything at all? I believe probably most people in this room because that's why you're here on a Saturday, because you're still pushing, right? Or maybe you lived in a house that was pretty solid. We had food, shelter, water, but you never really knew the struggles and stress that your parents were going through. That was me. I did not realize it. Mother of a kindergarten teacher, dad was a contractor entrepreneur. Up and down, up and down, up and down. But I knew you don't answer the landline. Okay? But I never went without. I can tell you that. So it's really difficult sometimes to spend $16,000 at the drop of a hat because I know where I've been. And so what we do is we let where we've been and who we were hold us back from where we're going.
Wow, that's good.
Because your past is not who you're going to go be. But you're letting your past dictate who you are. Now, it's okay to let that have some guidelines. But really, though, you're playing small. It's not serving anyone. It's not serving yourself. It's not serving our big God. It's not serving your family. It's not serving anybody around you. So tell me, what'd you spend your $16,000 on?
SUV?
All right. What'd you buy for $16,000?
Not much, but for down payment.
All right, what'd you buy?
Oh, Denali.
All right, there we go. There you go. There you go. Adam bought an Escalade this year. He put it on his Facebook and got everybody's opinion and then still did what he wanted. So I loved that. I loved that. What'd you spend?
1-1 rental.
Oh, there you go, bro.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Now so you're doing down payments now. We're doing some bigger things. Okay, Mike, what'd you spend, bro?
Rental property.
Rental property? I'm interested to see if you can branch out of that as we keep going.
I think I took that as an investment. Like,
All right.
I don't know that I would.
What'd you spend yours on?
Me, well, so I'm starting a new business where I'm a men's group and I'm coaching in fitness.
That's
and
great.
whatnot, So it's gym equipment.
Oh, yeah, because that stuff's so expensive.
Yeah, it's insane.
Gym equipment and office furniture. Why? Man, gosh.
That gym is very difficult to keep above water. My brother-in-law just closed his in Las Vegas.
Wow. Okay, so $16,000. Anybody else want to share?
Oh, your own personal gym? Yeah, good. So I'll just straight.
Okay. How you doing over here? Struggling? Doing all right? All right. So good night, good morning. You wake up, and there's $32,000 in your bank account. Same rules apply. What did I say, 64? $64,000. No, we're 32.
We did 32.
No, we didn't do 32. We did, I asked how much we had total. So it's 32. We're at $32,000. I love how somebody else's pins just go fast. You're like, oh yeah, I've been waiting for you to tell me to go to bed so I could wake up. You gonna just do whatever he says? Just ditto? Anybody struggling? Struggling? Let's think. What's something you've always wanted?
I mean, I feel like vacation home, but then I'm like, but where would I go?
All right, let's talk about it. Vacation home. Where's your favorite vacation spot?
See, that's what I don't know. Riodosa. Then
All right.
We had Lake House. Then we could do
Dubai.
PK.
Dubai, you can't do anything for $32,000.
Yeah, I don't sleep on planes.
All right, so let's talk. Riodosa, you think you could get a down payment for 32 grand? Because that'd be 20%, that'd be 160,000 bucks. Probably not.
Yeah, not the house I want, yeah.
So PK, I don't know that market at all. I know on Henry,
Yeah.
you could get one of those. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Powder Canyon?
Good, yeah.
Okay. Okay, all right. Anybody want to share what they spent their 32 grand on? Nope. A house? Let's go. You built a deck and a hot tub? That's cool. Oh, did you say in New York? I didn't hear you say New York.
Yeah, in New York.
Wow, that's freaking cool.
Lost space.
All right. Good night, good morning. $64,000 in your account. Just wait for the next one, y'all. Your pens are gonna go wild.
Are you gonna take this away?
No, this is
Like
yours.
the negative in me is I keep thinking, okay, but when are you gonna ask for it back?
This is yours.
Oh,
This is yours.
okay.
This is your life. This is your money. This is your dream. I would never take your dream away from you. Okay, 64K. I don't know how to swim. I could survive, but I don't know how to swim real well. But I'm pretty sure those really cool boats with the speakers are about $64,000. What are they called, wake setters?
No, they're like 100.
Well, yeah, I could find a 2018. I could buy a lot of wakeboards. I could buy, if I'm buying what I really want, is I'm probably going to go buy the Range Rover because I don't care about the maintenance at this point. I'll just finance the other 40. It's not. After I told you not to buy one. Okay, anybody struggling with 64,000 still? Are you guys still doing multiple items or is it just getting into one big item? Multiple? Anybody want to share?
I've used it probably on deposit for a lot. I go buy a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You just need to negotiate better. Get that whole lot for 64K.
No, I mean, it would be a deposit.
I love it. Okay, Chris, what'd you buy?
Well, I wanna have 5 acres and build a songwriting retreat
Dude, that's cool.
thing with 5 mini houses and 1 central meeting room.
That's cool. That's really cool. Anybody else want to share?
Lake house and land for leasing for hunting.
Nice. That's cool. Where? I don't either. I don't know. I don't hunt.
Wherever. Oklahoma's got a lot of use.
You okay?
Maybe Oklahoma.
Oh, called Broken Bow?
Broken Bow or Hollis. I used to live in Hollis.
Nice.
Small town.
But it'd be great for this. Awesome. Love it. Okay. Good night. Good morning. $120,000 has been deposited in your bank account. Here's the kicker, though, guys. Now we can give it away. Now we can save it. Now I can be charitable. Now I can invest. Or you can just buy whatever the heck you want. But now you get to do whatever you want with 120 grand. So what are you doing? You got to spend it all. You can't have a penny left in your bank account on that 120 grand. This is where you might think passions.
Find a couple of small businesses.
Yeah. You might think passions that are like, people that feel like they've always deserved it, but I want to give to them. Or that one nonprofit that the lady that runs it literally just has worn the same clothes for 28 years because she doesn't take anything for herself. It's all about her nonprofit. I can think of that lady right now. Okay, $120,000. It's actually $128,000. But. I feel like we're struggling on this one. Not as many pins moving. Let me hear it. What'd you do?
I put a down payment for a house in Philly.
Philly. Let's go.
New York, you got Philly.
West Philadelphia, born and raised. All right. Okay. Anybody else want to share?
I'm paying off Amanda's PhD debt.
Wow.
Ooh, there you go.
She's a PhD?
Gotta be.
Let's go. Way to marry up. Besides the fact she's probably way up anyways. That's awesome. Anybody else? 128. Anybody want to share? Michael?
It's not specific, but I wanted to try to purchase or put a down payment on like a small business, kind of like Shore said.
Yeah.
Something, branch out, something, and then pick my parents on it.
So when we did the Take 5 franchise, we had to have $1 million net worth. Then it's $45,000 per location. And then there's like $20,000 marketing, which is just putting money into your own business anyway. You're just paying for a marketing package. That's the whole thing. And then you have to do that. I had to do it per an area development agreement of 8 locations. Now that is a big franchise and a big deal. But $128,000 could get you something that might not be that grand, right? It's great.
Buy one from somebody,
Yeah,
look for somebody retiring, like one.
yeah,
That's a great starting point.
that's right. Anybody else want to share?
I just bought my, those would go for me being this family compound, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I want, yeah, so that's probably what I do with 128.
I think the coolest part of a family compound is having a family that wants to be around you that much.
Yeah.
Like that you haven't ruined it or messed it up, that your people want to come hang out with you. And that you want to hang out with them. Okay. Last step. Good night, good morning. I've given it all away here. I'm giving you all $250,000. $250,000 to spend, save, invest, give away, go see the ball drop in New York.
You mind if I get the other 6?
Right?
The other,
It wasn't quite double.
yeah, 56, 256, whatever you need. Okay? I love it.
Look at you.
I love it.
I thought we were following trend, right?
We are following trend, you're right. The reason I wanted you to write these versus type them or write them is because your brain will remember them. Your brain does not know conscious from subconscious. So when you're writing things like down payment, Philly, house, and I know you're probably going to go to Zillow and you're probably going to look on Philly and Zillow and be like, I'm going to get this one. You're probably going to call a guy up there, just meet him on Bigger Pockets or something and be like, what's Philly's market like? Because your brain doesn't really know that that's not real until you tell it it's not real. Okay, so 250. Some of y'all are still writing. I'll let you keep going. Lindsay, you struggling with this one?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, anybody want to share what they did with $250,000? $256,000?
By this point, I've got everything I need and want, blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
I'm dying at 73, so I'm vacationing the whole time.
78.
So I'm enjoying it.
So you just said to me, you have everything you need and want. So are you telling me if you added up all of these things right here, that's all the money you would need for the rest of your...
Not the rest of my life. This is,
Dividend.
it's overnight.
It's overnight, that's right. Okay? Somebody tell me what they want, or what they did with 250.
Pay off my mortgage,
Yeah,
and then put the rest into an LLC for the kids.
nice.
Pay off my mortgage and invest in a remaining house.
Cool.
Yeah.
What'd you do with yours?
I actually kind of calculated everything that I had said previously, as well as into a brokerage account or invest back into the business.
That's great. Okay, anybody else want to share? Okay, go to a new sheet, because this is going to be just taking notes now, because I'm going to move past that a little bit, but I want you to remember that. We talked about 2024 and what we did really well. Notice I'm not going to talk about what you did really bad, because it's behind us. It doesn't matter. You know the old cliche, the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield on purpose, because we're looking forward, eyes ahead. Okay, so mindset and planning for success. Now, we talked about Brendan Bouchard. I'm going to recommend a book. I'm actually not going to read 52 books or 12 books or 20 books this year. I'm going to read 4 books. I'm going to read 4 books, and I'm going to make them textbooks. I'm going to dive deep into 4 books, 1 a quarter, and this is what I'm going back through. This has been a game changer for me. Okay? He talks about there's like 7 habits of high performance people. But what's that?
Bring the joy.
That's right. He does say that all the time. I love it. Okay, so one of the first things and one of the high performance habits that I believe, and one of the things I wanted you to talk about what you did well and where you want to go, and if you had unlimited money, what would you do? Because one of the first things you have to do for having success is you have to have clarity. Clarity is power. When you know what you want, you know where you're going, then the next thing is what? Just figuring out how to get there. But you have to know what it is you want. Anybody ever thought about that or heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to think about something real fast. I want you to think about what are your top 3 priorities in your life. Top 3 priorities. I'm not going to ask you to read those out loud because I don't want anybody to feel judged because it might be your dog. Which is an okay answer. This is your priorities, not mine. Which my dogs are high. Okay? The next thing I think you have to have success, after I know what I want, the next thing I think you have to have, anybody have any sort of guess of what I would say? This is totally just y'all guessing me.
Faith.
Faith.
Family.
The next one I think you have to have is energy. You ever been sick?
Yeah.
What's the number one thing that's most important to you when you're sick?
Sleep.
Getting healthy. Sleep, getting better, getting healthy. If you have your health, you have nothing because all you're thinking about while you're unhealthy is, gosh, I feel terrible. So that goes back to if you're sick, you have no energy. So I'm big on energy. Write this down. I'm not going to go into it, but quantum physics. There's a whole lot on YouTube by guys like me that are not very smart talking and teaching quantum physics. Every single thing is made up of matter, atoms, whatever, holding it all together. It's all moving at all times. You have an energy in you, whether you believe it or not. There is a laser beam that going 10 feet behind me, 10 feet between me, through my belly button at all times, and you feel my energy. You ever had somebody walk in the room, they suck the air out of the room?
It's your field.
That's right. It's your magnetic field.
From your heart. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all go dive into that a little bit. But I am going to take energy into one more, and that's going to be like law of attraction. Book recommendation starts with The Secret. It's law of attraction. Once you learn law of attraction, you can go read the next one called The Power. I listened to him by a lady named Rhonda Byrne. She has a British accent. It's very easy to listen to. But The Power is about using the law of attraction through love and gratitude. So I give a wedding speech. You said you got married. I give a wedding speech, and every single wedding speech has this in it. That every single thing you do, you're either doing it with love and gratitude or you're doing it without love and gratitude. It's that black and white. And it doesn't have to be deep. It's just like, here you go. Like love and gratitude, not love and gratitude. So if you're thinking about, I said wedding speech, you're thinking about your spouse. How often do we put our spouse on the back burner when it comes to feelings? Versus every single thing I say to my spouse is with love and gratitude. You been through a breakup before? It was hurt. Not a whole lot of gratitude during those moments, right? Okay, so energy. How is my energy? You need to learn how to create energy. Creating energy means you're creating momentum, which will lead into your businesses and into your lives. Creating momentum starts a winning streak, which starts a mindset, which starts habits of saying that I'm a winner because I win every day.
Winners expect to win.
That's right. It's energy. It's energy. If I walk in the room, am I sucking it out or am I giving it energy, right? Okay, what do you think the next step is for the 3 things that I think you need to have there? Action. Action. You have got to take action. Action will do so many things for you. It will take away depression. It'll take away laziness, anxiety. We literally just stop and we don't take action, and we wonder. Anybody ever been stuck in your own thoughts and literally it gets you to a paralyzed spot where you're like, I don't even know what to do, but all you know you need to do is, I just gotta do something? That's your body and everything telling you, just take action, just go. If you feel stuck, the first thing I will tell you to do is just go walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes and watch a show. Just go do that. Like at a bare minimum, just walk. One step in front of the other. And that is a full mantra for your whole life. Okay, so the next thing I do, we've got clarity. I know where I'm going. I know what I want. I'm bringing the energy. It's the most important thing. Probably didn't even have the right energy in here today. Well, probably wasn't as high of energy as I probably would have wanted in here today when we got started, but energy is important. If you go to meet with somebody to talk about your finances and they sound like, what was the guy that used to do the red drops in his eyes? Vising. And he's gonna talk to you like that. Are you gonna feel like you're gonna get good return on your money? This is why people have probably been scammed so much, is because people with high energy have told them, like, this is gonna be great, because they buy into their energy. People buy into your energy. Okay, so now I know where I'm going. I've got the energy. I'm taking action every day. In my 168 hours, I'm taking action. And notice how nice I was to you guys, and we did not talk about any TV, any shows, because I know you guys are, if I said what's the greatest show out right now, what would you say? Yeah, good answer. Nobody said a word, because you're not want to be caught watching 7 hours of TV a month.
Social media is bad.
So then we go into scrolling. Mindless scrolling. Anybody else go to bed with their phone in their hand, with their wife next to them with their phone in their hand? Yes, I'm guilty of this. And it's because we want to go to a nothing box. We want to not think for a minute. Let me just give you what I started doing. Started doing two things that are just for me, which I hope they impact her, is I'll put my phone down and I roll over, lay my head on her shoulder, and I just talk for a minute. Just talk. It annoys her a little bit, and then she gets into just talking, because she's in her nothing box already and I've taken her out. The second thing I do is every single day before I leave the house, I start the coffee for her. I don't drink coffee, I make her coffee. Because, I haven't really done it when she's been sick with this pregnancy, but because it's literally her starting her day with going, thank you for that. So in her mind, she's starting it with a gratitude moment that I've set her up for. It's not even about me, it's about really for her to feel good. Wouldn't you much rather start your day with, thank you for that? So that's another thing about energy. So the other day I spilled something on my shirt and stubbed my toe, and it's like, as much as it's like jokingly like stub your toe, you do like two things like that before you've even left the house. Then you get in your car, and you're like, oh, this guy's cutting me off. Lubbock drivers are,
I'm sorry.
they're defensive. I know, landed. I'm who everybody's yelling at too, bro.
I can't say that.
So then I get to work, and my computer's not working right. People just won't leave me alone. I can't get going. Who do you think was responsible for that?
You.
Because the main thing we do in our lives is we can control three things. You're going to be able to control your reactions, how I react to things. So anybody heard the burnt toast theory? You've probably heard it. I just don't know if you know what it's called. Your toast burns. It takes a little extra longer. You ended up scraping it off in the sink. Then you finally go over here and you jelly it up, and then you finally eat it. Your toast burnt. They say it caused you from not being at that intersection in that millisecond of the guy running the red light to save you from. This is perspective and reactions. Everything in your life is how you react. What just happened?
You accidentally lost a marker.
I threw the marker at Michael.
Should I have blocked it? Yeah, then I felt guilty.
And Michael could have gone, what are you doing? Why are you throwing that marker at me? And anybody that's been in this, seen me talk before, you know that how he reacts to that, and then how you guys create a story is what people remember, feel, that happened. So Chris might leave here and go, wow, Jacoby got so mad and in such a rage. His marker, he threw it at Michael. Michael's got a bloody eye. I don't even know what's happening. It's wild. Okay? Social media, yeah, that's right. Story, truth. And here's the thing. These stories are just the bullshit you're telling yourself that you want to be true so that it'll keep you from being the person that you really think, know, and ought to be. So we've got clarity, we've got energy, we've got action. I've got my reactions. I can control my reactions, which will then determine my energy, which will then determine my attitude. And attitude is how you're remembered. People are at your funeral. Adam was such a nice guy. He always was so nice to me. He was so fun, so much joy. His attitude was so great. When you talk about somebody that works with you or for you, always willing to do whatever it takes, that starts with how you react and your energy to things, okay? So remember what I told you at the very beginning, that today is the greatest day of our lives because we hold the power. Some of you guys are forgetting how powerful you are. But it's all right, it's January, we're here to discover it again. Because by November, sometimes our power has dwindled and we've forgotten it. So what are some things that I do to kind of get there? So I'm a big visualization guy. So the reason we did the whole exercise going all the way up to $250,000 is because we have to visualize what we want to be. Anybody athletes played sports growing up? Okay, did your coach ever tell you got to play the game in your head before you ever get out there? Did your coach ever say that? Visualize yourself. The greatest boxers, it's a Michael Campbell, Ed Milet podcast with a guy named Mikey that's a boxer. Go look up Ed Milet. If you're not listening to podcasts, Ed Milet will change your life. #1 speaker in the world. And he's talking about this guy is taking punches and visualizing himself getting beat up and knocked down so he knows how to get back up. So many of you guys are visualizing already. You're visualizing, but all you're seeing is yourself getting knocked down. When in reality, you need to know, how do I get back up? How do I react to this? How do I bounce back from this? Right? The next thing I do is I do affirmations. I am statement is the most powerful thing that you can say, because everything that follows the words I am is what you believe to be true. I am is 365 times in the Bible. One for every day. So I am very big on affirmations. I say it all the time. I'm on my wife's timeline here with this pregnancy, but I'm like, hey, when do I get to start saying affirmations to the baby? When do I get to write you some affirmations for going into labor, for delivery? And she doesn't want to repeat them in the delivery room. But what I need to know is I need her to know, this is what I believe in you and who you are, and she'll remember them. Because it'll be a practice and a preparation of things that we do. So when we get knocked down, we remember who I am. Because if you're talking poorly about yourself and you get knocked down, what do you want to do? Stay down. So affirmations, I am statement. That goes back to the law of attraction. You guys know that I always get front row parking spots? Like all the time. Like it's very rare we drive somewhere together and I don't have a front row parking spot. Now, I've gotten to where I give them up because I believe there's a lady that needs them more than me. But I attract that. We go to the mall day after Christmas or day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday 2 years ago. And I did not want to go shopping, but I'm like, if we're going to do this, you're not going alone. It's crazy out there. And this mall is just nuts. The line is so long to even turn in. We turn in, we drive, and there's my spot. This is how I live my life. I live my life knowing these things are going to happen to me because I'm in control of it all. Now, sometimes you're like, oh, it's a parking spot. Can you really? Whatever. It's a mindset. The next thing you have to do is you have to have framework, and you have to spend some time writing. We have to spend some time prepping, planning, writing this. One of the things you're probably going to do in your coaching business is you're probably going to write people's plans for them. It's great because some people get stuck. They don't know where to go. Once you've coached somebody for 2 years, they probably can start writing it, doing it on their own, right? So that's why I spend a ton of time in an app called Growth Day, Brendan Burchard, Ed Milet podcast, do all this because I'm trying to get my framework right. All these things we're talking about, clarity, energy, action, reaction, visualizations, affirmations. This is framework for how your brain is wired. So we talked about our lives up to this point. That is how you've been wired and programmed. You have to reprogram your whole mind because we've gone through trauma and we've just gone through some shit. So you have to work on it because it's like, I'm 36. You can't do that overnight. This has to be a daily thing that I work on, right? So with writing and framework, the question you have to ask is, what is the goal? What do I want? And that goes back to our clarity. Okay, so then I speak it into existence as I work the plan. So after I speak it into existence as I'm working the plan, because what am I doing when I say speaking into existence as I work the plan? I'm telling people where we're going. This is vision casting. I've visualized it, I've affirmed it, I've taken the action now, and now I'm telling everybody what my vision is. Hey, I'm gonna act like I'm Michael. So, hey, my name's Michael, and I'm gonna sell 40 homes this year, and I just was curious, do you know anybody needs to buy or sell or invest in real estate? You're gonna sell 40 houses? Yes, sir, I am gonna sell 40 houses. Would you happen to know anybody help me hit that goal? And they're like, hold on, dude, 40, that's a lot, right? I thought, yeah, and you're like, yeah. Most agents across the United States do 9 sides, 9 deals. But I'm not average. I'm a winner. I'm a 10. I hang out with 10s. This is my life. And that's why I'm actually here talking to you today, because I wanted to see if you could help me. So what I've done is I've casted the vision, told this guy, reaffirmed them that who I think they are. Okay? And then that brings results. Where does confidence come from?
Wins.
Results. And where else does it come from? Repetition. If you've never spoken on stage and they say, Lizzie, you're speaking on stage, you're like, oh, shoot. You're going to practice it, right? So then when it's time to stand up there with the mic, you know what you're going to say, and you know you're going to crush it. Or she gets on stage without ever practicing, and she has to do it 1,001 times of failing before she's like, I think I actually got it now. It's the same thing. It's repetition for results, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay? So these are some of the words that we use to begin to renovate and design so that we can increase our revenue, time, influence, and peace. So that's the main goal. Revenue for me, because this world is expensive. I have to have revenue. But it comes back to on my terms, my time, and my peace. Okay? Any thoughts there? So ownership, that's what this is. Ownership, it all starts right here. So let me go back through this. You have a vision. You also know your mission, so your visualization, your framework, and then you have to build skills and habits. And that's where it comes to repetition and consistency. And then that comes back to all reaffirming your energy. Okay, everybody with me still? I'm going to draw this out for you so you can see it a little bit better. Actually, I think it's easier to see on this one. So it starts here with thoughts, programming, actions, results. Back to our thoughts. What I think I can, I am, I become, programs me into who I am, makes me take actions. I get the results that either reaffirm or disbelieve my thoughts. So I'm either having success or I'm not having success. And there's a whole lot of pivotal things you can do in here. Maybe in here you're having, this looks like a whole lot like this. Right? Didn't work, worked, didn't work, didn't work. You're readjusting, but it's going to give you new thoughts, to give you new programming that tells you what actions to take. Okay, let me hear some ahas on that right there. Anybody have anything like that was quite a lot there, but I wanted you to really feel what it takes to. So now that you've got those things, there's a couple things in addition to the framework that I want to drill down. So you have, this is like called the ABC framework. So in order for you to determine what needs to be eliminated or saved for your desired outcome, you have A's, which is awareness. Awareness is also known as wisdom in the Bible. Your other A is audit. We talked about taking an audit of 2024. And the other A is accountability. Bashar, Michael, 3 or 4 other guys always text me, and we're always texting back and forth. Did you get in the gym? Did you hit it? Did you do this? No, but I moved today. I rode a little bit. I did. All right, cool. Accountability. Okay, your B, big goals. That's kind of a cheat because I use the word big. Big goals. Balanced reflection. If you really want to know how how you're doing and how you're feeling, you need to start journaling morning and evening. I have an app, it's called the 5-Minute Journal. Every morning it asks me like 2 questions. How do you feel? What are you gonna do today to make today great? And then in the evening it says, how was today? What did you do today to make today great? And it's that simple. We overcomplicate. The next one after balanced reflection is building habits. We talked about that. The C, consistency, challenging ourselves. And then the other C is competent mastery. Okay, so I told you guys about a couple books. There's a couple more. My favorite book that I make people read when they say they want to come work for me, I make them read a book called The Dream Giver. The Dream Giver is by Bruce Wilkinson. He also wrote The Prayer of Jabez. That book is about finding your God-given destiny. Some people don't know where to start, so I say start there. I told you about the secret. I told you about the power. Simon Sinek has a book called Start With Why. There's a book called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. John Maxwell. Goals by Brian Tracy. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Sean Covey. Extreme Ownership. It's Jocko Willink. 10X, Grant Cardone. And then this one's very underrated. It's called Grit by Angela Duckworth. And then I told you guys High Performance Habits. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple more things here as we go into, so now I want you to start a new page. I want you to write, this is 2025. So, what is the big dream? Close your eyes, let's visualize it. What do you want? 2025, that is the question when we all start our goals. Some of you might have already done this in October, November, December, so this should be easy for you. So visualize it. What do you want? What is the big dream for 2025? As soon as you visualize it and you know exactly what it is, open your eyes and start writing down what your 2025 big goal is. Is it a dollar figure? Is it a time with family? What is it? Is it coaching a kid's sports thing? And how do I achieve that? Okay? I hope you guys have a 2025 goal already in your head so this doesn't take you super long. The next thing when we start talking about the big goals for 2025 is that it's not one-dimensional. We have a few different things in our life. Okay, these are not going to be equal. They're supposed to be equal. But I'm not an artist. You've got your faith, your family, your friends. You've got your finances. You've got your career, job. You've got your health or fitness. Okay, you've got romance, spouse, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Then you've got, call it social, extra, whatever. Okay? So when you think of your big goal and what you want your life to look like, is the goal not normally to have all of these being at a 10? Like, if everything's just rocking at a 10, whew. But we can be honest that not everything is a 10. Your people need you. Okay, so the reality is that sometimes our faith is on and our friends are off. They're not living in accordance with each other. And sometimes our family's on and then our faith may be off, our friends may be off. Or if our friends and family are on, or our family's on, our social life is off. Or if my health and wellness is on, then maybe my relationship with my friends isn't that good right now because all the things my friends and I do are things that are unhealthy. Maybe things are really good with my friends and they're really bad with my spouse or my partner. Maybe things are really good with my faith, so they're really good with my spouse. And we want these to all be right up here, where everything's a 10. Right?
That's right.
But this is a 0. And a lot of times it's like that one's a 3, that one's an 8, that one's a 4, that one's a 4. Man, I'm killing it. I'm making so much money. That one's a 9. My career's going good. That one's over here. But my health is a 1. My romance is a mid. So then our lives look like this. And when we're looking at our wheel of our life, we can't even get anywhere because it's like we got a flat tire. And it's okay. Maybe you want a really small tire that just goes. Maybe you don't want to play super big. Maybe you don't want to have a whole lot of things. But that's not going to change the world or change your life or build a legacy. So what is your goal? What is your big dream? I want you to have one for every category. I want to have a dinner a week with my wife with no phones. I want to have a dinner a week with my friend to catch up. I want to have coffee with a men's group to talk about my faith. I want to do that right after I go to the gym to do my health. I want to make the leap into a new position to have more career fulfillment. Okay? Those are yours to determine. So after you figure out what you want, now you have to figure out how to get it. You have to break your big dream into goals, breaking it down. And let me tell you the secret to all of this. Urgency and deadlines. Everybody's putting their big goals on there because we're saying 2025, but you're going to look up, it's going to be November, and you've only gotten about 40% done. When you break this down, you need to have deadlines. By March 1, I will. By February 21st, I'll have this much money saved by, you need to break it down. Okay? Break them down. I would do quarterly, but also you could do monthly. Whoops. So if you go into your 2025 goals and you say, I'm going to break it down, you can say, I'm going to do one goal for the year. I'm going to have one goal for the month. I'm going to have one goal for the week. And this is just breaking it down. And then this goes into your 168 hours. And then that just says what? Ed Milet says that we look at time wrong. He says that we're still stuck on this old way of looking at time. He breaks his time down to where instead of saying I have 24 hours in a day, he has 3 days in one. Anybody heard this? Okay, glad I'm not talking to somebody who hadn't heard it. So you have 6 to 12, 6 a.m., 12 to 6, and then 6 to 12, and then 12 to 6 is sleep. So what we do is we push our lives out, and we say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, instead of saying I'll do it tomorrow, you just say, I'll do it in the next day. And instead of pushing our lives to the next physical day, we just push it to the next broken down day. Deadlines and urgency. Urgency is something I cannot stress enough. If you have a sense of urgency, everybody around you will also feel a sense of urgency, which means they'll get on board or they'll get out of the way. And I don't mean that to sound ugly, it's just reality. I need this. If you can't help me, I've got to go find somebody who can. And it's not about a selfish help. It's about I've got a big dream, big goal, living a big life, to serve a big God, to build a big kingdom, to live a big legacy. Right? Yes or no, I want to give more than my family ever helped me give growing up.
Yes.
Yes, 100%. I want to give in ways that 6 generations will remember is what my goal is. I would like to have enough money. My goal right now is $60 million cash by the time I'm 65 years old so that I can leave 6 generations wealth, $10 million in each generation. That's my goal. It's big, it's scary. They call it a hairy BHAG. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. You know why I have that goal? Because I'm not real sure how I'm going to figure it out, but I'm making sure everything I do along the way is going to get me there. Can I tell you, I started that goal in about 2018 when I read a book by Simon, maybe it's 2020, I can't remember. Simon Sinek wrote The Infinite Game. It's about how we live our lives in finite time versus infinite time. Okay, so do you think Walmart will be here when you're dead? Yeah. Do you think Sam Walton was thinking in finite time like a fourth quarter of a football game of I have 60 minutes to play this, 15-minute quarters, and then I'm done? That's how we look at it. Our lives are spent in 168-hour weeks until we're 65, and then we live 11 years, and then we die. Or I can think big, play big, take massive action, and create something that'll change lives for generations to come. That is a mindset that will move you. Okay, last thing I want to give you guys. After you've used all this and you've trained your mind and you've reassured yourself, then you're going to have to go figure out, am I getting the results I need? And if you don't get the results you need, that's when you go back to more of your skills and your habits, okay? The first thing you think of, so in your 20s, we learn skills. I told you this, we learn our skills and we build our foundation. In our 20s, it's building time. So if you just started a business, you're in your 20s, you're in your youth. I'm building. In your 30s, you kind of figured some stuff out. You're making some money moves. In your 40s and 50s, you're building some wealth. And in your 60s and 70s, I'd say just keep building wealth. Don't stop. Okay. Any thoughts? I've got more papers, but I feel like it's been pretty long, hour and 45 minutes. So, any thoughts? Any ahas, big takeaways from today?
You have to visualize it,
That's right.
and you have to act.
You have to act. Visualize, act, write it down, break it down, and then build the life that you want to have. What does Monday look like of this week? What does it look like of next week? What does it look like the week after that? Every Friday I do this. Every Saturday I do this. There's some people that weren't here today because it wasn't the lack of not knowing about it. It's because things came up and they were like, it's all good. I can't make it today. I had about 6 people that I thought were coming today that I texted and they couldn't make it, which I totally get it. It's a Saturday. Things come up. Families first. But it's just not a priority. What are your priorities? So there's actually another question I have for your priorities. What are your top 3 priorities in your life? What are my top 3 priorities in preparation for this year, 2025? So what are my top 3 priorities in preparation? What are my top 3 goals that will enable me to move forward on these priorities? And then the question I have to ask you, and the reason we did the whole visualization is, how will I feel when I attain these goals? That's why I asked you guys about feelings of your life. How did you feel? What was the emotion of your life so far? How do you want to feel in double your life? If you never read the book, 5 People You Meet in Heaven, incredible book. Mitch Albom talks about regret. And then why are these things and these feelings and these goals important to me? If you want to get some clarity and you're close with your family, talk to your mom and dad. Ask them their emotions of how they felt of their life thus forward. I can guarantee you, my dad, the number one trait my dad has is he's a protector. He protects people he loves. I actually have that trait now. You can mess with me all you want, you don't mess with my people. Then I'll come fighting. But he'll say, I've done what I had to do to get us to where we've gotten. And it's kind of that whatever it takes mentality, right? But ask him, hold on to those feelings, and then attach those to your goals, which is every single day needs to be attached to your actions. Cool? All right, let's hear some ahas.
I like to talk about like audit.
Audit,
It's
yeah.
almost like withdrawing. Not everything's gonna go perfect next year. So it's like you have to refocus, stuff's gonna go wrong, why did it go wrong, how can you fix it? So it's almost like you have to keep checking back.
You do any spring cleaning? You purge? We do all that all the time, but I don't really do it that well, but we moved recently in August, and we found stuff from like 2018 in the cabinet. We're like, what is this? Why do we even own this? And we had people helping us move that were judging us based on the things that were expired.
Stop.
But you gotta take an audit. You gotta look at it. You gotta purge some of that. Get rid of it. Okay, give me another aha.
Jacoby, I'll actually say thank you, man. I want to honor you in that and some of that wisdom you shared. I actually read a book over the break in North Carolina by a woman, Morgan Tyree,
Okay.
and it was The Productivity Zone.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm. And dude, it was, everything that you're hitting is just confirmation that I was being led by the Lord to read it. And it's one of the things that I'm shifting my intentionality on this year is that the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities.
That's right.
And it's exactly what you're saying.
Okay, you need to read this book as well by Laura Vanderkam, 168 Hours. You have more time than you think. She's written like 3-time books. 168 hours. His was called The Productivity Zone. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Let's hear another aha.
I think, mine was just affirmation. Word of affirmation, if I may share a quick story.
Yeah.
So here's my, growing up, just quick story, growing up, I was always told verbatim, hey, you're a piece of shit, you're not gonna amount to shit, you're X, Y, Z. I did not get positive affirmation, I don't think, till getting out the military, and I met my son's mom and then my wife, you know? So, quick story is my son's 3 years old. Every morning I get him ready for daycare. We sit there right before bed too. I'm getting him dressed. Hey son, repeat after me. I am strong. I am smart. I am enough. He woke up 3 days ago feeling sick, right? Wakes up. I get him his medicine. I give it to him. He's like, Dad. I'm like, yes sir. He's like, I am strong. I said, yes sir. Took his medicine like nothing. Gave it to me. Hugged, man. So even, I just bring this in because even with your employees, a good, hey, good job. They might have never heard it their whole life. You know, I didn't hear it the first time till I was dead young, 40.
Yeah.
You know, words of affirmation, man. It's a big. It'll go a long way. All right.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah. I'll share with you guys real quick. I told you all about my career. I grew up in a great life. Great life. Dated a girl for 5 years whose parents were millionaires. It was awesome. And then moved to Lubbock Christian, and we broke up. And then I dated another girl, and I married her when I was 21 years old. And at 22, I found out she was cheating on me. And I tried to reconcile because it was like, that's the thing you do. And I probably did it in all the wrong ways, and we got divorced. And I guess I got married at 22, divorced at 23. And so it was a 10-month-long marriage. And then I went into a spiral of just drinking and partying. But what it was it was masking. Because when you drink with me, and I still drink, but I'm a social drinker. I don't do it alone, I do it with people. Because I love people, I'm a people guy. And I was masking. I was doing it with fun, and you always would look at me going, that guy is having fun, but it wasn't getting down to the core of what was going on. I even had jobs. I had a job where I did all sorts of stuff with Chamber of Commerce in Lubbock and built a business for another guy. And then I was recruited to go open Buffalo Wild Wings, and I went to Little Rock, Arkansas and Amarillo and did all this stuff. And then I moved from there to a finance director of Pollard Ford. I was doing finance management over there. And then one day I got to work at 6 a.m. and we worked till 9 p.m. that night. I didn't even eat anything all day. We were working so hard. It was the end of the month. And I went home, changed clothes, and I went to meet some guy for a whiskey and vodka tasting. And then I drove home and fell asleep at the wheel in front of Hillside Church. It was L2 Auto then. No, it was Hillside then. And it was barely changed over. And I fell asleep for 40 minutes with my foot on the brake. My head cocked back. I saw the footage of the cops. And I always wondered why they never helped me. I had to have been snoring because my head was just back, and they were just letting me sleep while they dug through my car and did the whole thing. And I lost my job. I lost some friendships. I lost a lot of respect. And I went and worked for somebody else, and I thought that was the lowest point. I went and worked for a guy that was with me that night. He thought it was kind of his fault because we drank too much. And I went and worked for him for 6 months. And he just berated me and just belittled me and just told me how terrible we were to all the employees, everything. Finally, one day, I was just so miserable. I was like physically sick. I was so miserable. I don't know if y'all have ever been there. And I quit. And I was broke. I moved back in with my parents. And I'm 24 years old at this point. And I just decided I'm going to go get my real estate license that I've taken. I had bought my real estate courses 6 years in a row, by the way. Like 18, 19, 20, maybe 20 again. You can get it for 6 months. You don't finish, you have to buy them again. And no, 6 times. And so then finally I said, I'm broke. I'm going to go wait tables. I'm going to go to Kegel Steakhouse where nobody comes out there, so nobody will see me because my pride was hitting me. Well, everybody goes to Kegel's during Christmas season. And so I'm out there. I started in October, and I just start waiting tables. And I got my real estate license. And I just was the old guy at 24 years old with all these 19-year-old waiters and waitresses. And I just found my joy. I found out what I wanted, and I literally got started in real estate, waited tables for 6 months while I was in real estate. And the action, that's why I talk about the action, because the action of doing and bettering yourself will pull you through. Okay? Sold real estate, crushed it for 2 years. I had something I was going after. 2 years, moved to Denton, failed again in the eyes of everybody. 1 month later, met my wife. If you cannot tell me all of this is a bigger plan than ours, then I don't know what to tell you. 2 years after meeting my wife, we bought land. And 30 years old, I got married. We've been married for 6 years now. And those last 6 years is when actual things have started to snowball and go my way. But it started at 23 when I got broken. In the eyes of the world, it was all supposed to go my way. 23, it was broken. And now 13 plus years later, people look at me going, that guy's doing something, right? So I just tell you that to encourage you. 62 years old, Colonel Sanders starts KFC, and he's not here anymore, and that place is a mansion of a legacy. So what's yours? Cool? All right, yeah, thanks, Michelle. Thanks for coming. Y'all watch the Facebook. We'll post about more of these, okay? Thanks, guys.
Good job, Jacoby.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming.